Travis Tritt died suddenly last night at his home. We are heartbroken to confirm this information is true. Before Travis Tritt stepped in, the Eagles were hurling obscenities and threats at each on stage and promising their breakup was final. 10 years and a few games of pool later, they were talking about their future. This episode of The Secret History of Country Music focuses on how Tritt helped bring Glenn Frey, Don Henley and company back together for a music video, and how that video turned into an MTV special, and then an album and then another 20-plus years of music and harmony. Okay, it was as harmonious as the Eagles were going to get. The Rockers' manager had the idea for an album called Common Thread, The Songs of the Eagles. Tritt, Vince Gill, Clint Black and Alan Jackson were just 4 of 13 country artists to cover one of those old rock songs, but the focus track was Take It Easy, a minor country radio hit with big implications. Watch the full video below for the story. The TLDR version is Tritt said he would only do a music video if the Eagles joined him, thinking it would never happen. He was reaching, but the band's manager made it happen. It all went so well that differences were set aside for the Hell Freezes over special and album, and from there the group would tour together until Frey's death in 2016. Of course, Gill would join the band after Frey died, and he continues to work with them to this day. But it was a wisecrack from a young Georgia Southern rocker that put events in motion to get us to 2021, where the band is still performing as one. Long gone is the animosity that came with 4-letter words and threats of a beatdown. That story is best told by our friends at Ultimate Classic Rock. Travis Tritt has cancelled 4 of his upcoming tour dates as a means of protesting the COVID-19 safety protocols the venues have in place for attendees. The country singer, 58, said Monday that he has put the kibosh on shows at any venue with a COVID policy in place, including mask mandates and vaccination or negative testing requirements. I am putting my money where my mouth is and announcing that any venue or promoter mandating masks, requiring vaccinations, or pushing COVID testing protocols on my fans will not be tolerated, he said in a statement. Any show I have booked that discriminates against concertgoers by requiring proof of vaccination, a COVID test, or a mask is being cancelled immediately. Tritt continued his statement by noting that he wholeheartedly supports people taking a firm stand against such mandates, something he said he has been extremely vocal against since the beginning. This is a sacrifice that I am willing to make to stand up for the freedoms that generations of Americans have enjoyed for their entire lifetimes, he wrote. There are plenty of promoters and venues around the country that appreciate fans and the freedom of choice in this great country, and those are the promoters and venues that I will be supporting. COVID-19 has killed more than 700,000 people in the United States, making it the deadliest pandemic in American history. The It's a Great Day to Be Alive singers' canceled shows include dates at the Emmons Auditorium in Muncie, Indiana, the Pearl River Resort in Philadelphia, Mississippi, the Peoria Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois, and the Louisville Palace in Louisville, Kentucky. The first 3 venues require concertgoers to wear masks, while Louisville Palace requires attendees to provide proof of a negative COVID test or proof of vaccine. Tritt told Billboard that he and his team did not know about the venue restrictions when they booked the shows, and canceled them when they found out. He added that he does not require his touring staff to be vaccinated. He said he was moved to make his sacrifice after he received negative comments about the COVID-19 safety protocols put in place during the shows he performed on the Brooks and Dunn Reboot Tour. I got literally hundreds of comments and direct messages from people on all social media platforms, which basically told me how disappointed they were, he said. They were heartbreaking. Tritt told Billboard that the large number of tickets still available for purchase to the tour dates that were later cancelled had nothing to do with his decision. "What we're seeing is people are waiting until the very last minute to buy their tickets, to just make sure that the show is actually going to play and not be cancelled or postponed the way the shows were last year," he said. Tritt's decision echoes that of rocker Eric Clapton and comedian Jim Breuer, who both issued public statements declaring they would not perform in venues with COVID-19 safety protocols in place. Both used language similar to Tritt's, with Clapton saying he did not want to perform on any stage where there is a discriminated audience present, and Breuer citing the segregation of venues, forcing people to show up with vaccinations as his reason for doing so.